Look at what the Math Society of Ghana, the guy said. It says lack of comprehension of the English language is not making the students to transform or transfer the English language into a mathematical language, because you have to appreciate it before you can change it into the math language and solve the problem. Now we have a Minister of Education telling us that we should look at localizing teaching. That is, we should go into our local dialects. It became a topic that we were debating. And you get his people coming to sit here and say that, but that is how things should be. Please. You see, we are competing with the global world. And when we are doing things, we should know how we go about it. The other thing they said was that they showed weakness in maths. It tells you that they were not prepared for these exams. It was not for nothing that the previous government was buying past questions and examiners' reports for them to read before they go into an exam room. It was not for nothing, because you need to know what the examiner demands from you. So when they give you the past questions and they take you through the past questions and you meet a similar thing, you know exactly what the examiner is demanding from you to deliver. If you don't know and go and sit down, you will think, oh, I've answered. When they ask you, you say, this paper, I answered, pow. I answered, but you will come and you will not get what you got. It will come and you will not get what you expected to get, and people become disappointed. The kids that have been taken through this last 8 years, the glory they are taking for saying that, oh, the nation, they've done so well, they should take that same shame when it comes to results delivery. Because you can't sit down and say that, oh, as for the nation, yeah, we've taken it, that, oh, things are getting better because of the things that had been put in place, both by the previous government, the IMF, and what they expected us to do. Then when it comes to education, you say that, oh, but those were your kids, those were people that you left for us. When we left them for you, before they go for exams, at least 2 or 3 months before they go for exams, we make sure that we give them previous questions. They go through, the teachers will go through with them on the previous exams that they've done. They take them through the examiner's reports. They talked about problem solving. It was an issue for them. So it tells you that they had no knowledge of how to solve problems, how to go through previous examiners' problems. Then you talk about social studies, answering on policies, funerals, UN Ghana relations. They had no idea. It tells you that the children this year were not prepared for the exams. Why were they not prepared? Because a government refuses to take them through how to answer questions, how to know what the examiner demands from you, and how to know to make sure that when you go and sit in an exam room, you don't just write. It tells us that this was a government who they do not appreciate that English language is the medium for all our exams, whether local or foreign. So at the end of the day, if you don't appreciate and understand the English language, how can you deliver? That is the problem we have. Now we come back to the question of this, where my brother wants to make a hula baloo out of it about the Ghanaian question setting. We had a situation before that. We were going with all the various West African exams together. Then it got to a situation where the COVID came in. So we were not doing that exam as a whole that was to be set. So Ghana decided that, listen, we are not going to sit down and wait for 2-3 years before we do exams, because there's a backlog that we should go on. You remember that even the school, they had to go and disinfect the schools, and they made sure that people were going back to school, even when other African countries were not going to school. We took a step, and we said that if we are going to wait for them, and you said the results are going to leak, then set our questions for us. This is where we are teaching. Set our questions for us. Let the children know what questions, which areas they should study. And that is where we decided that, listen, we will take them step by step through problem solving, how to solve a problem. In maths, for example, there are certain steps. If you don't get the last answer right, once you go through the step and you show how you've outlined the steps very well, you get marks for every step you go through. So you realize that you might get the answer wrong, but because you went through the steps, you get more than what is expected from you. And that is how you help children solve their problem. So I plead with President Mahama, sit down and really look at what is going on. Because if educational standards fall, it affects all of us. If you are going to produce these children who are not able, over 200,000 children failed maths.
Okay.
It's never happened in the history of Ghana. Never. Never ever. You come and in your first year, children feel just like that. I beg them. Okay. I beg them. It's the future of this country.